Okay, so let's open up the University of California application. So, first thing that you want to do is after you register, you're going to um, put in information about you. So, let's go ahead and go to that. Okay. So, the first thing is make sure that you put your name that's on your social security card as the first name. Okay, so if that's, let's say, on your school transcript, if that's different than your social, you have to make sure you put the name on your social security card as your given name, because that's what you were given. And then if you have a middle name, make sure you put it. And then the last name. I put 32 here because you basically get 32 characters to put in this information. So let's say you have a hyphenated last name, and that happens quite often, but your last name is like 40 characters long. Well, you basically have to just put it all the way up to 32 and just keep on typing until it stops. They're going to match your application to your transcript and your FAFSA based on that information. So just make sure you do that, okay? If you want to be called a different name, make sure that you do the preferred first name so that when you get correspondence from the University of California, it'll be in your preferred name. And then when you're born, where you're born, make sure you put all that information in and that it matches. And then contact information about where you live. And then your phone number. And then there's a checkbox about I authorize text messages to be sent above the phone number. And I would highly recommend that you do that just in case you need a reminder to get things turned in before the deadline. And if anything else that they'll send, sometimes, say for example, they extend the UC deadline for like UC Merced, they'll let you know via text if you send it. Okay. And then can we share your contact information with UC Campus System programs? So I would also click or check that box because say, for example, there's other programs like at UCLA. There's a lot of great programs that they'll offer you by email that you wouldn't know about unless you signed up for it or clicked on this box. So just want to make sure that you do that. For citizenship and residency, make sure that this is your social security number, or if you have an ITIN, if you don't have a social, put that information here. Sometimes people mess up and they'll put things like their phone number. Make sure that this number is your social, okay? Because that's a big mess up if you don't make sure that it matches, okay? And if you are undocumented, just leave it blank. In terms of California residency means that you lived in California for all intents and purposes for this part of the UC application. Okay, so you are a resident if you live here in California. And then when you graduate from California high school, make sure you hit yes. And then have you attended the California for 3 years or more from K through 12? So if you were in high school in another state from your freshman and sophomore year and you came back your junior and senior year, you would hit no unless you spent a year or more, let's say first grade through and second grade, right? If you did that in combination with your junior and senior year, you should be good to go. So just make sure, like, it doesn't have to be continuously here for 3 years or more, so it can be split up. And so if that does make the case, hit yes, okay? And then the next part, demographics. So you can enter information about your ethnicity, and they definitely have expanded things a little bit more than before. So I do see a lot more options. But for the South or for the Asians, they still are missing out, like Burmese, or there's a lot of Korean students here in San Diego. But they've started to do a good job, which is good. In addition to that, there's a gender and sexual orientation. So make sure that you click on the appropriate choice here for you, and then save and continue. What language should you speak first? If it's not English, and then to tell us more about yourself. If you were in the foster care system, make sure you check this box. Or if there's any other situations here, not always common for sure, but if it does apply to you, do that. If you are dependent of a U.S. military veteran or service member, make sure you click on yes. If you are a dependent of a veteran that's been in service for 20 years or more, there's definitely options available for you where you can get tuition covered for public universities. If you have a question about that, go ahead and let me know, and I can help support you for that. I also was able to go to UCSD for free because of that situation for my dad. He's been waiting for 20 years. Okay, so here's information here. Do you live by yourself? Most likely no. Who lives with you? If you have your parents, put the parents. In this situation, I put other. And then, so living with grandfather. And then what was the total income? So grandpa earns $60,000 a year. And then there's 7 people that live at home. So again, with this, they'll determine if you are eligible for fee waiver. And so if your income is $60,000, and let's say 4 people live at home, you won't qualify for a fee waiver. But let's say that some of that money actually goes to family in another country or another part of, just people that don't live with you. And there's 7 people that you support with that money, then you have every right to put that number there. And when you do that, you'll get a free fee waiver. Okay, so just want to make sure you knew about that information. FAFSA is going to be a little bit different, right? It goes by household and who lives in your household, but for purposes of the University of California and determining if you get a free fee waiver, it's based on this information that we have here. Okay. And then other parent information, education level. They want to know if your parents or guardians, went to college and graduated. And if not, you're considered a first generation student, which definitely looks good on your application. So that's basically it about this portion. Next, we'll go into the information about campuses and